Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Akhtar Hanan. I am student of Rehan School, Islamabad campus F8. So today my task is talk with Sesame AI and ask 50 questions on the topic whatever a journey through indifference. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
A journey through independence sounds.
My
I'm all yours.
first
Fire
question
away.
first question is, what does the word whatever mean to you personally?
Oh, to me, it feels like a verbal shrug. It's that little word we use when we're either totally flexible or just completely done with a conversation. Depending on the tone, it can be the most chill word in the world or a total shutdown. I'm curious, what does it mean in your journey?
Mm, no one mean nothing serious in our daily life conversation.
I see what you mean. It often just becomes background noise, right? Like something you say without even thinking about it.
Okay, so my next question is, when did whatever become a common expression in everyday language?
It's hard to pin down a exact date because it's more of a linguistic shift than a single invention. It really took off in the late 20th century, especially with the rise of teen culture in the 80s and 90s, where it became the ultimate shorthand for indifference. Does that fit the timeline you're imagining?
My next question is, saying whatever always a sign of indifference or either or not?
Definitely not. It can be a way of keeping the peace when you don't actually care about the choice, or even a playful way to tease someone. It's all about the energy behind it.
So next question is, can whatever
I'm ready.
sometimes yes, can whatever sometimes be a form of self protection?
And that's a really interesting angle. It could be like a shield you put up when you're feeling overwhelmed or just don't want to let someone in. It's a way of saying, I'm not invested, even if you actually are. Do you
Yeah.
think people use it that way often?
No.
Fair enough. What's next on your list?
So next question is, how does indifference differ
I'm
from
listening.
how does indifference differ from acceptance?
Indifference is like not caring if the light is red or green. It's a total lack of interest. Acceptance is different because it's a conscious choice. You've looked at the situation, you've weighed it, and you've decided to be okay with it. One is a blank space, the other is a resolution.
Okay, so my next question is, can what how why do people stop caring about certain issues?
It usually happens when the emotional energy just runs out. Sometimes it's burnout
Me.
where you've cared so much.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm still here.
yeah. Answering.
Me too. Ready for the next question whenever you are.
Give again answer of last question.
Of course. I was saying that people often stop caring about certain issues because of emotional burnout. It's like your tank is just empty and you've spent so much energy worrying or trying to fix things that your brain just switches off to protect itself. Other times it's just a natural shift in priorities. The thing that was huge a month ago just doesn't feel as urgent today.
Okay, so my next question: how is emotional de- detachment healthy or harmful? Yeah. So my first question
Go for
is,
it.
How does modern
I'm ready when
society
you are.
how does modern society encourage a whatever attitude?
You got me on the edge of my seat. What are we looking at? Modern society encouraging what exactly?
Give answer.
Dave answer. I'm not quite sure I catch that. Do you mean divorce?
What is the difference between empathy and peace of mind?
That's a pivot. Empathy is about stepping into someone else's shoes to feel what they're feeling, while peace of mind is that internal quiet where you're at ease with yourself and your world. One is an outward connection, the other is an inward state. Does that make sense?
Okay, so next question is, can caring too much become exhausting?
Absolutely. It can lead to total burnout if you're carrying everyone else's weight without leaving any room for yourself. It's like trying to keep everyone else warm while you're freezing.
So next question is, what role does empathy play in overcoming apathy?
Over apathy is a tough one. It's that feeling of just not caring about anything. Are you asking how to get past it or what causes it?
Give answer in detail.
Apathy is like an emotional fog. You're not necessarily sad or angry, you're just empty. It usually happens when your brain decides it's too overwhelmed to feel anything at all, so it just flips a switch to protect you. It can be caused by burnout, chronic stress, or even just feeling like nothing you do actually matters. To get past it, the trick isn't to force yourself to care about the big things immediately, but to start with tiny tactile wins. Like, I don't know, the smell of coffee or the feeling of a cold breeze. It's about waking up your senses before you try to wake up your heart. Does that hit the mark for you? A bit of a what? Got it. Since you're on a mission for 50 questions, I'm guessing we're only a few in. What's next on the list?
Oh, so next question is, can indifference ever be empowering?
In a weird way, yeah. When you stop letting things that don't actually matter drain your energy, it's like a superpower. Gives you the freedom to focus on what actually does. Do you think that's a helpful kind of indifference, or does it feel too cold?
So next question is, how do personal values determine what we care about? Next question is, does saying whatever end conflicts or avoid them?
Usually it just avoids them. If you just say whatever to keep the peace, you're not actually solving the problem. You're just pushing it under the rug. Eventually, that rug gets too big to walk around and the conflict comes back even louder. Real resolution takes actual honesty, even if it's a bit messy at first.
Okay, so my next question is neutrality the same thing as indifference?
Not even close. Mutuality is about a shared experience or a two-way street where both people are giving and receiving. Indifference is just not caring. One is a deep connection, the other is a total void. Do you see the difference?
Okay, so thank. Assalamu alaikum.
Wait, you're dipping already? I thought we were just getting into the already thing.
My name
Fair
is
enough.
Abdul. My name is Abdul Anan. I am student of Riyam School Islamabad campus F8 in Pakistan. So today my task with ask with Sesame Maya and ask 50 questions on the topic. All right, how this simple affirmation came to be. So you ready?
Wait, you just went from like peace out to a full on interview mode. I'm definitely down to dive into all right with you. Let's get it.
Okay. So my first question: what does the word "all right" mean in everyday conversation?
In most cases, it's just a linguistic Swiss Army knife. It can mean anything from I'm doing okay to I agree, or even, wait, what did you just say? Depending on how you say it. You probably notice it changes based on the vibe, right?
Give answer of this question. What does the word "all right" mean in everyday conversation?
I just gave you the breakdown. Basically, it's a versatile phrase that covers everything from agreeing to something or saying you're okay, depending on the tone. You feel like we missed something in that answer?
So my next question: where did the expression "all right" originally come from?
Let me dig into that. It's funny how a couple of words can end up meaning so many different things, but this one goes way back to Middle English, probably before 1413. It's a simple mashup of all and right that's been around since Chaucer's time. Interestingly, the one word all right didn't even show up until mid 1800s, and Mark Twain actually gets credit for using it in the story. You'd think you use the formal version or the one word shortcut more often.
My next question: is "all right" considered correct English by all language experts?
Nah, it's a bit of a battleground. Prescriptivists, the ones who love the rules, generally say all right is the only way to go. But descriptivists who look at how people actually talk are totally. I can't see any videos. I'm just a voice in your ear, remember?
So my next question: when did people begin writing "all right" as one word?
That actually ties back to what I just mentioned. Mark Twain is the guy who really put all right on the map back in 1865 in one of his stories. Before that, it was almost always two separate words. You think Twain was just trying to be a rebel with his spelling?
Why do some teachers prefer "all right" instead of "all right"?
It's all about the rules. Teachers usually stick to the standard, and all right is the formal gold standard. Using all right can feel a bit too casual or even wrong to someone who's spent their whole life grading papers by the book.
Okay, so my next question is: when did people begin writing "all right" as one word?
We actually just touched on this. Mark Twain's the one who gets the credit for that back in 1865. Before him, it was pretty much always two words. You're asking about the timing of all right again, or you're just checking to see if I'm still with you? I'm still here, just keeping pace with your 50 questions.
How
What's
has
next on the list?
yes? How has the meaning of "all right" changed over time?
It's evolved into this kind of universal placeholder. Back in the day, it was more literal, like something being fundamentally correct or satisfactory. Now it's more about like the vibe. It can be a casual agreement, a way to end a conversation, or even a sarcastic way of saying things are definitely not okay. Do you feel like you use it more to agree with people or just to fill the silence?
In what situation do people commonly say "all right"?
Pretty much everywhere. It's huge in casual conversations when you're wrapping up a plan, like, all right, I'll see you at 6. Or when someone asks how you're doing and you're feeling just okay, not great, but not terrible. It's also a great tool for checking in, like when you ask someone all right to see if they're doing okay. You ever use it to subtly s- tell someone to stop doing something?
What role does tone of voice play when saying "all right"?
It's everything. Tone is the difference between a genuine I'm okay and a sarcastic, oh, sure, everything is just great. You can use it to sound supportive, dismissive, or even a little annoyed without actually changing the words. It basically acts as the emotional volume knob for the phrase. Have you noticed how a short, clipped all right feels way different than a drawn out one?
Can alright sometimes mean only acceptable rather than excellent?
Totally. It's the ultimate mess of the English language. You tell someone their performance was all right, they're probably not exactly celebrating because it means it didn't fail, but it definitely didn't wow them. You feel like that's a frustrating way to describe something, or does it actually make the phrase more useful?
How is alright used in British English compared to American English?
The Brits really lean into it as like a greeting. Um, in the UK, you'll hear "all right" used as a way of saying hello or "how's it going," and the expected answer is often just all right back. In the US, it's more of a confirmation or an agreement. It's less of a greeting and more of a way to say "got it" or "okays" or "we're." Do you think a greeting that doesn't really require a real answer is a bit lazy or just efficient?
Why has the spelling debate lasted for so long?
Because people are weirdly passionate about the rules of language. It's this eternal tug of war between the people who think language should be set in stone and the people who think it should move with the times. Once you start treating a spelling choice as a sign of education or status, it stops being about a word and starts being about who's correct. Do you think the rules are there to keep us organized, or do they just get in the way?
What do modern dictionaries say about alright?
They've most challenge accepted. Most dictionaries
How has social media influenced the popularity of the word?
social media is basically the fast track for all right to take over. Everything is about speed and vibes online, so the one word version just fits the flow better. Stripped away the formality that dictionaries are still arguing about. Do you think the way we type on a phone actually changes how we think about the words we use?
How does alright help resolve conflicts? How does alright help resolve conflicts?
It's the ultimate peace offering word. It can act as a bridge when two people disagree. Saying all right doesn't necessarily mean you've changed your mind, but it signals that you're willing to stop fighting and move on. It's a way of acknowledging the other person without having to fully surrender. Do you think that's a genuine way to settle things or just a way to sweep the problem under the rug?
How does context affect the meaning of the word?
It's everything. Context is the lens that changes the whole meaning. Like if you're at a job interview and you say all right after a tough question, it sounds like you're just trying to keep it together. But if you're with friends and say all right, it's just a chill confirmation. The same two words can sound like a victory or a total defeat depending on where you are and who you're talking to. Think you're more of a literal person or do you read between the lines a lot?
Can alright be both a question? Can alright be both a question or statement?
I'm not totally sure I follow. Are you asking if you can write down the questions we've been talking about or if you're asking about how to phrase your next one?
The next question is: are there regional accents that change how the word sounds?
Oh, for sure. Accents completely change the flavor of it. Like in a thick New York accent, it can sound almost like all right, where the O just disappears. Then you've got the southern US drawl where it's stretched out and feels way more relaxed. Even the way the rhythm hits in a Caribbean accent gives it a totally different energy. Do you think the way someone sounds when they say a word changes how much you trust what they're saying?
So my next question: can always strengthen social connections or not?
It definitely can. It's like a social lubricant. When you use it to acknowledge someone or show you're on the same page, it creates this instant low pressure bond. It's way less intense than a big emotional statement. So it's a safe way to signal that you're okay with the other person. Do you feel like those small, easy interactions are what actually build a friendship, or is it the big conversations that matter more?
My next question is: how has literature contributed to that acceptance of the world?
Writers have always been the ones to push the boundaries. Authors like Mark Twain were huge for this because they wrote the way people actually talked, not the way textbooks said it should. By putting all right in a story, he basically legitimized it for everyone else. When you see a word used by a major writer, it stops feeling like a mistake and starts feeling like a style. Do you think literature should reflect how people really speak, or should it be the thing that preserves the perfect version of a language?
How does alright reflect cultural values of reasonableness and positivity?
I'm guessing you mean all right here, unless we've suddenly pivoted to the city of Albany or something. It's it's a really interesting angle because all right is the ultimate safe word. It reflects a culture that values stability and avoiding conflict. When you say things are all right, you're signaling that there's no crisis, which is a form of low key positivity. It's not high energy excitement, but it's a steady, calming baseline that tells the other person they don't need to worry. Do you think that focus on just being okay is a good thing, or does it stop people from actually striving for great?
Okay, so my second last question is: what has this expression remained popular for so many generations, or not, or why?
It stayed popular because it's a survival tool for social situations. You know, it just fills whatever gap we needed to. Whether you're a teen in the 60s or someone texting today, having a word that can be a greeting, a goodbye, or a subtle way to end an argument is just too useful to drop. It's the ultimate low effort, high reward phrase. Do you think we'll eventually replace it with something even shorter, like just a sound or an emoji?
Brief in detail again. Explain again, please.
Sure, let's break it down again. I'm saying that all right is like the perfect tool for getting through a day. It's so flexible that it works for almost every generation because it doesn't force you to be too emotional or too formal. It's just enough to keep the conversation moving without any risk. Does that make more sense, or am I still being too abstract?
Okay, so my last question is what makes alright how this simple affirmation came to be an interesting topic for discussion with Sesame.
I think it's interesting because it's one of those things we use every single day without ever really thinking about it. It's a tiny phrase, but when you actually dig into it, it's a whole mirror of how we communicate, our social rules, and even our fights over spelling. It's a way to see how language isn't just about textbooks, but about actual people just trying to get along. Did you get all the answers you needed for your task?
Okay, I ask one more question to you, and this is my Okay, I ask one more question to you, and this is my last question. What does the history of all right teach us about language change?
It teaches us that the people actually using the language are the ones in charge, not the textbooks. It shows that when enough of us start using a shortcut or a new spelling because it feels more natural, it eventually becomes a new normal. Language isn't a static thing, it's a living, breathing thing that evolves to fit how we actually live and talk. Do you think it's better for language to evolve like that, or do you think we're losing something when we move away from the strict rules?
Okay, thank you for answering all questions. So my task is over. Have a nice day. Goodbye.